Hello and welcome to 50 Fabulous Knits. My name is Pia. I am a Danish knitter currently living in Italy, and this channel is my happy place where I get to talk about all the knitting. I am so happy that you're joining me here today, and I really hope that you will like this episode. Today I am wearing my Christmas sweater. Not because I hear jingle bells, but because I've gotten a few questions about it. It has been hanging behind me on a few of my previous episodes, so I thought I'd wear it today and talk about it. It's a special sweater. It is actually the Taroko, which is a crochet pattern, but I knit from the crochet pattern. It has been in my queue for ages. And then last year in October, when I was in Texas, I decided that now was the time. So I went out and bought a few crochet hooks and some yarn, and I cast it on. It didn't work, and I ripped it back and I started over again, and it still didn't work. So I ripped it back and I went out and I bought some other crochet hooks, other models, and I also think I bought another size, one size up. So I tried for a third time and I still couldn't make it work. It is crocheted using a special stitch that is called, I think, the single center crochet or center single crochet, something like that. It is fiddly, even for an experienced crocheter, which I am not. I am not a crocheter, but I wanted this sweater. I was so in love with it. So I sat there with all of my frustration and my crochet hooks, and I looked at the beautiful yarn and I looked at the pattern, and then I realized the single center crochet stitch actually looks a lot like a knit stitch. So the fabric you're creating with this stitch looks very much like a knitted fabric. It's of course thicker because it's crochet, but it's visually a lot like a knitted fabric. So I thought, I know how to knit. I ripped back the crochet for the third time, and then I cast on with my knitting needles. I swatched for this one because I wasn't sure that it was doable. I didn't know if it would be possible to knit from a crochet pattern. I got gauged on the first try, and from there on out, it was smooth sailing. So I knit the top of the yoke here. Then when I reached this lace section, I bound off all my stitches, and then I crocheted in the knit stitches. When I was finished with the crochet, I picked up all the crochet stitches with my knitting needle and continued knitting down. In the pattern, there's, I don't remember, a couple more of these lace sections on the main body. But I decided not to do those because what I wanted to create was a very light pullover that I could wear for all of the Christmas parties. I wanted to be able to wear it without having anything under it. And I don't know, I wasn't really in the mood, if you can say so, to have lace sections over the equator of my body at Christmas time. So I decided to just knit the body straight and then just finish it off with this last section of some color work. And yeah, there you go, Christmas sweater 2020. I am loving it. The yarn that I got was from Hobby Lobby. It was the Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed, I think it's called. And the colorways was, and now I'm just gonna look at my notes. Chestnut Embers is the main color here. And Plush Blush is this, yeah, very light pink. And then the hot pink here is an acrylic blend that I found in Dubai in the bazaar there. So I have no idea what brand it is, but it's a fingering weight hot pink yarn that was just perfect for this sweater. Wearing it actually makes me think about this year's Christmas sweater, and I have a few ideas, but I am gonna wait, hold back, control myself, because I have stuff on my needles. So I'm gonna wait for a little while before I cast on for my Christmas sweater 2021. But I do have some finished objects this week. I finished my family sweater and it is blowing out the camera, but that's okay. I have hair on it, yeah, because of course I have hair on it. I have been wearing this every evening since I finished it. I didn't even blog it because I couldn't wait for it to dry. So this is the unblocked version. I am loving it. I have knit this pattern 5 times now, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it today. If you're interested, if you're new to this channel and want to know more about the family sweater, I will suggest that you go back a few episodes. Actually, if there is something that you want to search for on this channel, the easiest way to do it is to go to my blog, which is linked in the description box below, my show notes, also obviously links to patterns and everything I talk about. But there is a link to my blog where I keep all my old show notes. So you can go, there's a search function in there, so you can just type in family sweater and then all the episodes where I talk about the family sweater will appear. But yeah, it is done. I am loving it. I'm very happy with this one. I knitted out of the Nightshades from Harrisville Design, and I cannot say enough good things about that yarn. It is delicious. I am so getting more of this yarn next time I come back to Texas. Actually, maybe I should place an order now and have it waiting for me when I arrive in November. That is not a bad idea. It is a lovely yarn, and I'm sure most of you know about this yarn. It is American Cormo, and the Nightshades are all black yarns with little flecks of different colors. In this one, it's gray, but there's also, I think, yellow, blue, green, red, different kinds of little flecks or undertones, I'd rather say, that just makes this black color so unique and so deep, and the yarn itself is lovely. First, when you touch it, it feels a little rustic, but then when you knit it up, it is so soft. I can wear this next to skin, and it's super light. This whole sweater weighs less than 300 grams. I use less than 3 skeins for it, which is amazing for a big sweater like this. And yeah, it is lovely. And I'm sure actually that the wool will soften and blossom with blocking. So someday I'm gonna block this, but I wanna wear it. I don't wanna wait for it to dry, but someday. I also finished another thing that I have been talking about many, many times on this podcast. I finished my half and half wrap, or half and half triangles wrap. It is a free pattern from Paul Soho. I'm sure you have seen it on many, many podcasts. It is a schlanket. It's huge. It is so big. I didn't weave in the ends yet. I'm gonna do that tonight. But yeah, I just wanted to finish it and show it to you. This has been on my needles for more than a year. The lovely ladies from the Drops Knits podcast introduced it last year in August or September, and I cast on immediately. I took some brown Drops Fable and I just cast on and started knitting. And my idea was to make one brown triangle and then the other one green. And I bought the green yarn. It was beautiful. I just couldn't see myself wearing it. So when I had knit about this much, something like that with the green, I ripped it back. I did a yarn swap with the yarn, and then I did these black and white stripes instead. And then there is a little bit of baby blue here, almost in the middle of the one triangle. And I am loving it. It's big. It's bigger than the other one that I made, and I can see that my gauge really loosened up, so I need to block this to just stretch it out a little here in the beginning. But yeah, it's an addictive knit. I could easily knit a third one. There is something about this pattern. In the beginning, there's a lot of stitches and you're just knitting back and forth and it takes forever and it doesn't grow at all. But you're so excited to have just cast it on, so that's okay. And then the rows start getting shorter, so yeah, it's fast and you feel really accomplished. And then you get to change the color, and that is so exciting. And the rows are really short in the beginning. And all is good and fun, but I'm not gonna lie. The last couple of rows here, they're kind of a slog. At least they are if you get the idea in your head that I'm gonna finish this knit now. This is not a quick fix. It's the kind of knit that will follow you around, that is happy to lay and rest, and then it will just be there for you when you need something calming, soothing, easy, relaxing to knit on. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cast on a third because it's just a wonderful project to have just for those days where you don't want to do something complicated, or you can't be creative and you're tired, but you do want to knit. This is perfect. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful pattern. And Drops Knits has this big knit along for it. It is ending in the Rhinebeck weekend. You need to be a fast knitter to finish it before Rhinebeck. But anyway, I mean, if you haven't already, you should cast it on. It is absolutely a wonderful project. And this one is not mad at me, even though it has been on my needles for more than a year. It's a very forgiving project. I also finished another shawl, and this has not been on my needles for a year. It was not on my needles for not even for a week. This is the kind of shawl that just needed to be created. I was at a yarn festival in Denmark. We've just been back to Denmark to visit friends and family, and there was this yarn festival that I went to, and I found this very, very rustic, lovely wool, and yeah, it needed to come home with me. It almost wrote the pattern for this shawl itself, and it just knit up so fast, so beautifully. And it is such a simple knit. It is mainly knit in garter stitch, but then you have these panels of a very, very simple spider lace. No, I should take it off so you can see the spider lace. I just always want to wrap it around me. But the spider lace, doesn't it look like little spiders? I thought it was so perfect for this rustic shawl, and yeah, the only decoration that is on it is this ripping at the end, 2-color ripping just before the bind off. I named this shawl after our current knit along, the ACAL 2021, which is an accessory along where we make all the little lovely accessories that just makes every day that much more beautiful and nice. So I named this the ACAL shawl, and the pattern is out on Ravelry and in my own web shop. And for the duration of this Cal, you will get a 50% discount on the pattern. So it is just about €2 to $2. So it's, yeah, if you want to knit it, I would suggest you get the pattern now. It is super easy, super quick, and very, very beginner friendly. If you have never knit lace before, I would definitely recommend this, because it's a simple pattern with a short repeat, and it's very easy to see if you made a mistake. You don't have to sit and count your stitches all the time. You will definitely notice if you make a mistake. And then you have these long stretches of pure garter stitch just to relax and sit and have a conversation or watch television or whatever you like to do while you're knitting. But yeah, my lovely ACAL shawl. This has also gotten a lot of wear because right now the days are still warm and beautiful, but the mornings and the evenings are cold. So a sweater and or a shawl is just perfect for right now. The last finished object that I have is also related to the knit along. It's a hat. It's a very orange hat. And I can see that the camera doesn't really know what to do about this color, but it's, trust me, it's orange. It's very, very orange. This is something that I just cast on when we were in Denmark because, as I said, we were there to visit friends and family. So I needed a project that was small, portable, and very, very easy so that I could just zoom around without paying much attention to it and be able to have a conversation and be present for that while knitting. So I cast on, I actually think it was 100 stitches and just did a 2x2 ripping. And then I did some very rapid decreasing up here on the crown. I don't know if you can see. It's just super, super simple. I used some non-superwash yarn that I got for my shop. I wanted to see how it would take the dye. It's difficult, but I got to practice, and then I also dyed up some mohair, and It is a glorious orange, but yeah. Yeah, maybe it's something like that. I do think that this hat could brighten up my winter uniform of black boots, black jeans or leather leggings, and black, gray or dark brown coats. I am not a colorful person, but I'm hoping that I can bring myself to wear an orange hat. I think it would make me super happy popping this one over my head on a cold winter morning. And even if it doesn't, even if I end up gifting it because I don't wear it, I had a lot of fun knitting it. And it will always remind me of all the nice dinners and beautiful summer evenings out in the garden. And yeah, so all is good with the hat. Most of my whips also have to do with the knit along. I am really going all in on the accessories these days. I cast on for a new shawl because I have no shawls, or I really love to make shawls. That's probably, yeah. This is a simple triangle shawl. It's gonna be kind of shallow. It's not gonna be a very deep triangle. And I'm gonna do some simple patterns, some slip stitch patterns. First I have some garter stripes and then a simple slip stitch here. I'm gonna continue on with some garter stripes and then have like a wide border at the end with another slip stitch pattern. And for some reason, I am thinking of this as my Texas shawl. I don't know why, but I am gonna put the Lone Star, instead of adding tassels, I'm gonna knit little stars, little golden stars, and attach those instead of tassels or pom-poms. Maybe I'm calling it my Texas shawl because there is so much hope going on while I'm knitting this. I am hoping that the US will soon open to us. Please, we're fully vaccinated. We can get tested. I'd be happy to go get tested 3 times a day if I could just get there, please. But yeah, this is a fun project. This is my fun project where I really engage and I try to come up with nice patterns for it. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun knitting this. I am using rather heavy needles. I think these are a US 10, maybe. They're heavy needles. What does it say? 5.5 millimeters. And they're also heavy for this yarn. I am knitting it out of Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk, which is, it's way more heavy than a regular silk mohair, but it's still a lighter yarn. It is very, very soft and lovely yarn. It doesn't shed the way that some mohairs will, and it's just, yeah, I love the silk in it. It gives an extra dimension to the colors, and it's one of my favorite drop yarns. So, and I find it perfect for shawls because it's warm, light, and pretty, and yeah. This is a project that I am enjoying a lot. I enjoy all of my knitting projects, but some projects are just, they have this little extra. This is one of those. I always have a sock. And of course I have a sock. Now, Wouldn't say that I got really far, and you could argue that I could have used the sock for my going out project when we were in Denmark. But the thing is, I am knitting these socks with a heel construction that I'm not very familiar with. It is the pattern from lovely Inga from Knitting Tradition, the one that is called Morshæl. And I'm in love with this heel construction. It really fits my foot brilliantly. Usually when I do a heel flattened gusset, it's too big. I end up having too much fabric around my heel, but this just fits like a glove. It's a very special heel construction. You knit the stitches together here under the foot. And at first I thought, oh, that's gonna be annoying when you step on it. It's not. I'm gonna memorize this pattern because it's a beautiful way of making a heel, and it's so good for my foot. I think I talked about this sock on my last episode. It's the one that I needed to swatch for a cowl. I thought that I was going to use this lace pattern in a cowl, and I thought I'd better swatch. I hate swatching, so I thought I'm going to knit a sock with the pattern, and that'll be my swatch. And I'm happy I did, because it turned out this is not the right lace for a cowl, because it doesn't block out. I mean, it's okay for a sock, but for a cowl, I didn't like the way that it blocked out. So all is good. I have some really nice socks, and I did not start a whole cowl in a pattern that I wouldn't like. So yeah, I am knitting on the second sock because I can't wait to wear these. It is soon cold enough that you need to wear your woolen socks again. Yay! I love fall. Fall is pretty. Anyway, I have more projects connected to the accessory along. I am knitting for my granddaughter. A while ago, my granddaughter used her own savings to buy what she thought was a Harry Potter Ravenclaw scarf. And you can probably imagine the 8-year-old's disappointment when she received a box of yarn. She was so disappointed, but of course, Nana knits. Nana came to the rescue, and she couldn't find the box. But her mom found it the other day. The family bunny may or may not have gotten into that box. I'm guessing it did. I'm guessing it ate the pattern and the box, but fortunately it didn't like the yarn. The yarn was intact. So yeah, I had to make up my own pattern, but I mean, it's a scarf. I am just doing a simple 1x1 ribbing, and then making the little stripes. I was looking at some photos online, and it's gonna be fine. This is one of those projects that I can use when we drive, or when I sit and watch television or watch podcasts. So yeah, there were these 2 colors in the kit. I will say, if you have a Harry Potter fan in your family and you want to make a scarf, don't go for the kit. The needles that are in the kit are horrible. The yarn it's an acrylic, and some acrylic yarns are really nice, but this is not one of those. I did suggest that we could come up with some nicer yarn, but she was very determined that the yarn that she bought should become the scarf that she wanted. So I am knitting with this, but can't say I'm enjoying it, but I am enjoying the thought of how happy she will be when her Ravenclaw scarf is done. So, yep. And it goes perfectly with the knit along. It's a scarf. What could be better? I have another whip going. I have knitting. I like my whips. I like to be able to switch between projects. Yeah. And I have no self-discipline. I don't know what I would use that for. Anyway, the next whip is something that I don't know that it counts for the knit along. For some reason, I don't think of vests as garments. I think of them as accessories. And this is a vest. It is my own pattern, the everyday vest that I just modified to be knit top down because I'm not sure how much yarn I have. I'm using the leftovers of my nightshades, the leftovers from the family sweater. And I wanted to use every bit of it, so I modified the pattern to be knit top down, and then I can just see how far I will get. I think I'll be fine. I think I'll get a decent size vest out of this. Yeah, but I'm guessing it's not an accessory, even though that is how I tend to think about vests. It's something that I add to whatever I'm wearing. But anyway, I am now at the point where I'm just going round and round. I am gonna knit the ribbing. I already finished the ribbing here at the neck, and I'm also gonna knit the ribbing here at the sleeves, or not the sleeves, the armholes, because then I will know that whatever I have left of yarn can go into the body. This is actually more of a product knit than a process knit. I mean, it's enjoyable enough to knit. I love the yarn and it's an easy pattern, but this is about me wanting a vest for fall. I love to just pop vests over my t-shirts and later over shirts or over dresses. So yeah, this is something that I really want to have in my wardrobe. So kind of practical, actually. The last thing that I have on my needles is also part of a knit along. It is not a part of my own knit along, but in Denmark there is a knit along for the Pinguano going. I already have a Pinguano. I don't see myself knitting another one, but in my mind, the Pinguano and the Enchanted Mesa are connected. They're kind of family. I'm just gonna pop a photo of the Enchanted Mesa. I really love that pattern. And I actually bought yarn for it at one point last year. I then used that yarn to make a Pinguano. So that's why they're related. So yeah, I cast on for the Pinguano, so I'm kind of in the knit along, even though I'm not, but I'm there anyway. I am using some yarn that I got at the yarn festival that I mentioned. It is a lovely, lovely light gray cashmere merino silk blend, and then these stripes is my own hand-dyed yarn in a colorway that it's my attempt on a black colorway. I'm still working on it, but I'm using some of the skeins that I dye up for this one. I'm gonna pair it with some other gray, black and whites and make a black and white Enchanted Mesa. And just allow the the structure of the pattern, the genius construction do the talking, and that the colors be very Pia, gray, black and white. I am really having fun knitting on this. I am enjoying the yarn, I am enjoying the pattern, and yeah, I am sure that I'm going to be enjoying the finished product, because I think it's beautiful. I love the asymmetrical shape of it, and I think it's going to be one of those pieces that is really easy to wear but looks a lot more complicated than it really is. For sure, I'm having fun knitting it, although it doesn't get a lot of love because of all the accessories. But it's nice to have a sweater going. I mean, I cannot not have a sweater going. That would be strange, right? And with that, I have come to the end of my knitting for this week. I have had quite a lot of knitting time. When Peter and I go back and forth between Italy and Denmark, we often go by car, and we also did that this time. So that gives me 16 hours of uninterrupted knitting. I'm loving it. What I'm not loving is that we didn't bring my little dog Feely this time. Usually she's always with us, but this time we decided to leave her at home with my best friend and her dogs. Feely is happy. And yeah, it is because we are hoping and praying that one day the US borders will open, and then we can just jump in the car, go to Milan, and jump on the first plane out of here, because I am so longing for my family over there. On the other hand, I can see that, yeah, the pandemic is still, yeah, it's a huge problem over there. So I'm not gonna hold my breath waiting for borders to open. I mean, even if they don't, we do have plans to go to Dubai, out of the Schengen area, in October, and then stay there for 2 weeks, because then we can enter the US. So we are gonna get there at some point, but yeah, a quick little visit. I would really love that. My daughter-in-law over there is very, very pregnant with little Lucas, and I just want to be there with her. I miss my daughter. I mean, I had 2 boys. I never had a daughter, but then I got Marilia, and she is kind of my daughter too. So yeah, I really want to be there. I miss my son terribly, and my little John. I'm not going to talk about little John because nobody wants to see me cry on the podcast, right? I'm going to talk about Italy instead, because I am really enjoying it here. Fall is so beautiful down here. You have this clear blue sky, and you have a crisp air, and the smell of cold in the morning. But it is so beautiful. The leaves are starting to change, just very subtly, but they are starting to change. And we're going to enjoy taking some long walks up and down the mountain that we live on, because there's a lot of forest on this mountain, so we can walk around there and just enjoy all of the fall beauty. Yeah, it's nice, and it's okay that we don't get to go to Texas, kind of, but I am gonna enjoy myself here for sure. Some of you have asked for a home tour, and I don't know if it's something that you would like to see. I'd be happy to do that, but let me know in the comments below if you want me to take you on a trip around the house. I mean, you have seen our terrace where I spend most of my summers. You've seen my craft room / office. And today you're seeing our living room, or a little part of it at least. It's a very, very old house. When we bought it back in 2006, it had been restored. Alfredo, that we bought it from, had started out basically with a pile of stone. I'm gonna insert a photo just to show you his starting point. He then rebuilt everything and made it into this lovely house that we have today. We have only done cosmetics like changing the floors, and we took down one of the bathrooms because we decided that 3 bathrooms was enough for 2 people. So instead we got a little more space on the landing upstairs. Yeah, but he really did a good job in renovating this house. The kitchen he built himself using wood from the trees that was in the garden. And yeah, everything is just very thought through, and you have this, you really feel the love that has been put into this house. And we continue to fill it with love and joy and laughter. So this is a very, very happy place to be. I really hope that you're in a happy place. If you're not, I hope that your knitting can bring you some comfort. I'm really happy that you have decided to spend some time together with me. I'm very, very grateful for this Fiftyfabulous family. I don't really have knitting friends in real life, but I am so enjoying all the friendships that we built through this channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you again next time.